Okay, let's see if we can do this. We are doing the Pecking Order quilt. And this was on Missouri Star Quilt Company's website. You can download the quilt. It will come out at 66 by 70 if you do it exactly like this. They used 1 pack of 5-inch squares print and 4 packs of 5-inch squares solid. I used a low volume, a Riley Blake, I can't remember the fabric line, but it's a Riley Blake. And to cut 156 5-inch squares, you need 2 7/8 yards. And it's 156. If you're going by the design of the quilt that Jenny has, you need 156 5-inch squares. That's 12 across, 12 across and 13 down. And I used a Blackbird design fabric for my 2.5-inch squares. And then there's 156 of them as well. And I drew a line down the vertical. What is that? Not vertical. You know, there. So I'm gonna have to talk over that because I said that wrong. I'll put it in there what it is. So now it'll be boring to watch me do this, but what I'm gonna do is I'll fast forward it as I'm going along. We are going to sew all of these onto these. Every single one of them the same way. So you want you just start going and sew straight down that, it's not even horizontal, diagonal, the diagonal line you have drawn, or you may have ironed the diagonal line. And we're gonna sew 156 of them. So here we go. And we want them, this is what we want. So first of all, we're just gonna sew them, okay? You know, I say all the time that anybody can sew on a straight line, but I can remember there was a time I could not sew on a straight line. And even times now, I can't stay on the line. But the thing about quilting is everything's fixable. Everything. And the more you do it, the better you get. And so that helps too. And even the most experienced quilters have moments. So you can all just relax and do this boring little repetitive skill. And of course, we will fast forward this. Okay, now we get to trim all 156 of these. And you see where you have you sewed over the diagonal line. Now you're going to trim 1/4 inch. Put your ruler on your sewn edge or your drawn line. And you probably couldn't see me because my hand was on there. And then you trim that off, and then you will press that open. But let's go ahead and trim these. I'm going to trim these where you could see me trim them without my hand in your way. There you go. So I'm just going to go through all these and trim 1/4 inch from that seam line. So see, it's 1/4 inch. Do it again. You can also just cut them if you prefer to use scissors. So it's just 1/4 inch. And you do it to all of them. So let's go. Put this in the... And I'm just using a rotary cutter. You can use scissors, you can use rulers and rotary cutters, or whatever you want. It's annoying me that I'm not getting these in the... There we go. I need to put a new blade in here. So you want it, your corner out there like that. You don't want to, oh, come on. Now you're going to make me look like a dork. Let's see. You don't want to trim this way. You don't want to trim this whole thing off. You want to trim the edge. So that's why you go the 1/4 inch. And just do this 156 times. Take a break in between so you don't get any repetitive issues. And then after you get all those trimmed, I will show you what to do. Okay, after you've trimmed it off 1/4 inch, then you come over here to your ironing board, and I press the piece down first, and then I press towards the dark. So your piece should still be 5 inches. And then you could trim off any of the excess. If you, I press, because this my background fabric is light, I press towards the dark so that doesn't show. Some people like to press their seams open, and you can do that as well. So still you press to press the seam, and then you can open it. And most people can. I apparently cannot. I like to do it the other way if it's not real bulky, because I like to nest the seams together. But you could do this way as well. Did you see what I was doing? You couldn't. I'll do that again. So that's pressing the seam open. So the seam's pressed open. Get it out here where you guys could see it. Seam is pressed open. Press the other side too. And then you have an open press. But you could see, I don't know if you could tell on here, you could see the 1/4 inch in the background. But again, I like to do it, and there's some areas that I will that I'll press them open if there's going to be a lot of bulk when I'm sewing the seams together. Otherwise, I press to the dark. And you just do this 156 times. And then you get to sew all of these together. So I think I'm going to stop here and get these all pressed, and then I'll show you what we do next. And these should all still be, when you're done, they should still be 5 inches. Because you haven't cut anything. You just have your waist from when you trimmed down to the 1/4 inch on these corners. I think it's called snowballing. That's the quilting term of it, is snowballing. I press on a wool mat because it just seems to lay flatter. I remember my sister saying, how flat can flat be? So anyway, that's what you do. So have fun doing that. We'll be back to lay it out. Okay, so what happened was I was getting ready to do the layout, and I started doing the layout, and I got carried away during the layout, and I forgot to video it. So I got it done. So you can lay these out row by row by the instructions that, or by the diagram that Missouri Star Quilt Company, which is in the description, that printout. Just lay them exactly, each row, exactly how Jenny has them. So, sorry, my air is limited. So you do these row by row, and then you sew each row. So row 1, row 2, row 3, 4, 5, down. And then you sew each of the rows together. So 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and so on. Then I used a 4.5 inch border, and after I quilt it, I will do like a wavy border all the way around because I like that. And so there you have it. I would really like to see what you guys's look like, yours look like. If you can either email me pictures of it or your progress. My email is in the description below, or you can tag me on not Pinterest, Instagram at Stitching with the Sisterlies. So hopefully you will all enjoy this tutorial. And if you remember, Jenny has a tutorial up as well, which is way more explanatory than this. So this was just kind of fun to do. So all of you have a great evening, rest of your day, and I will chat with you later. And